Hello, it's John Binnie. Welcome to my monthly reflections across my business, my dream life, and my mission, and the balance of all these things together. And so, if you don't know me, I left my corporate and career in software engineering and artificial intelligence. You may be able to hear Patches digging up a bed. Um, I left that job, that career in May 2024. And so we're now in November, we're now November 4th, and this is where I'm getting ready to do my reflection on October. And so reflecting on my business, the highs, the lows, the areas that the lessons that I've learned, and the things I'd like to celebrate, and also what's coming up next through November and beyond. Okay, and you also said that you loved hearing Patch. Let me see if I can just flip you around and show you him digging a bed, because I'm sure it'll entertain you as much as it entertains me. There we go, tearing up another valuable bed. Perhaps Patch is my only employee. I should be doing a one-to-one review with him. But you said that you love seeing him on videos, so it's lovely to share that moment with you. Donations for new beds for Patch are welcomed. We go through many. Okay, so let's talk about some of the numbers so far to give some context. So I do have my little laptop here, my little Chromebook. Other laptops are available. So some interesting numbers. So when I think about my mission to help balance darkness and light across this world and also help raise the vibrations of billions of hearts, I know that one of my indicators that I'm interested in is how many people I can reach, like how many more people can I help. And I don't have like super crisp numbers, but I can report on the ones that I do have readily available. So for example, in my in my Patch is still digging his bed. In my website, there's some really interesting numbers that came out. So unique visitors was up by 29%. Page views, it's up by 30%. And what else happened? The RSVPs, so people acknowledging that they'd like to attend an event, went up by 46%. And site sessions, so this must be people that are on the website doing stuff, went up by 38%, which is fantastic. You may also be interested in my sales. My sales went down for the first time, so they went down by 32%, and compared to the previous month, so all these numbers are compared to the previous month, and the total orders also went down by 27%. Total orders are a little bit misleading because my orders themselves like vary dramatically. So, for example, an order could be someone ordering a free meditation, or they could be ordering one of my most expensive offerings, which is one of my training courses, like the Higher Self Intermediate Training. So in terms of the highs, I would say, oh, there's so many, I don't know really where to start. So if I think back through October, we did our first, and I say we because it was Natasha and I were doing our, I think it was just the end of September, and then we did another one in October, which was the in-person quantum, psychic, akashic readings, clearings and healings event. And so those first two have just been incredible. They've been a big part of me stepping out of my comfort zone and stepping into a world where I can really help people face to face and be confident in doing that, and getting me out of my hermit mode, which is fantastic. So thank you if you came along, if you're watching this and you came along to one of the events. It was really beautiful. Each of the events were just incredible, both very unique, lots of different themes coming up in them. many of the themes that, if you're watching this and you just know me from being online, those like similar aspects, people wanting to unblock themselves, to heal themselves, to learn more about what exists beyond their current awareness, to develop a regular practice, to connect with spirit guides, and the list goes on. So that's really fabulous, and getting to meet people and getting to know you, and doing these short, well, they're relatively short, 15, maybe 10 to 20 minutes per person, in the face-to-face sessions are really magical. So thank you for that. And thank you for both those events selling out. It's just phenomenal. And also another big highlight in October was I got to do my services at the Naked Revive Wellbeing Centre in Haddington. Had an open day, and so I did. You kept me busy. Thank you for coming. I had 6 hours back to back of sessions, ranging from, I would say the minority was clinical reflexology and the majority was psychic reflexology and a couple of quantum energy healings alone. In that was just what I offered someone. Most of the psychic reflexology services also include quantum energy healing. So it was like a shrunk down version of the hour and 30-minute session, which is for psychic reflexology, which is about an hour or so of reflexology and psychic reading in parallel, and then it's psychic reading and quantum healing for the last 20-30 minutes, including time for questions. So that was fabulous, and and it was a crazy busy weekend, because I also had an in-person event. I had the Halloween special event just after that. What else has been going well? So thank you for signing up for the Hidden Witch Wound. So actually, you also requested the Hidden Witch Wound guided healing meditation. So the idea was to create this guided meditation that's similar if you like booked a one-to-one session with me, but at a fraction of the price. But not just price, that it gives you this freedom and flexibility. So I'm not consciously there, if you like. Well, I guess I am, but not in the way you'd expect. So you don't have to sit on a Zoom call. We don't have to schedule time to meet up, and that was really cool to create it, because when I created it, and I was having this chat with Wade, one of the customers that bought it. And hello to Wade in Australia. He was saying that it was just very powerful, and I said it was really incredible to see lots of other people in that session. And from memory, it may have been more, but I remember seeing at least 40 other people in the guided meditations I created it, and it makes sense in a quantum reality, right, where there's no such thing as time, that people from at that time I created it, the past, the parallel, the present, and the future, they also joined that session. And just over a year ago, when I first created my very first kind of embryonic training called the 7 Chakra training, that was like, I felt people in that session that later signed up for it. So that was really cool. So yeah, thank you for signing up for that. I think that was a really interesting adventure for me. I also had time to create to build, not yet released, but to build my new app. So this is a native, by native I mean it runs just like any app on your phone for Apple iOS and Android. So these two different apps have been built, and they are busy going through the review process by the App Store and the Google Play Store. That process takes weeks, frustratingly, and although I would love it to be faster, they're progressing. Anything around another 3 or 4 weeks time, I don't know. That's the happy path. That's if the Google one is currently going through testing and the Apple one through review. And if they reject it for any reason, some of that time could start again. I don't know, but it's definitely a labor of love, and it just feels right. Like I'm really excited that I was able to create the app, so that it has, a way of you being able to access the free meditations in an easy, accessible way. You can also download the meditations, and access them whenever you wish. And there's also, I launched the new monthly meditations membership. And what happens is every month I create a new 30-day program, and this allows you to continuously join new programs, and you join the 30 days whenever you wish, and you can also repeat the 30 days whenever you wish. So these programs will also, I haven't quite figured it out yet, but lightly include things like the Hidden Witch Wound meditation, and a brand new one, which I created just a few days ago, which is called the 60-minute silent meditation. That's the longest meditation I've done, out with a client session, and of which probably the longest has been about maybe about 3.5 hours for some of the group sessions. So yeah, that was a lot of fun creating that, and very powerful. So that those three things, the Hidden Witch Wound meditation, the 60-minute silent meditation, and the monthly meditations, are all available on my website. They will be easier to access in the new app is more logically organized, and yeah, I'm excited to announce that whenever the Google Play Store and App Store release them. So I'm sure it's all in divine timing. The Higher Self Foundational Training continues to go well. And you may be hearing some big gulps, so apologies for that. Kevin, my microphone doesn't filter it out, but I know Zoom does. So yeah, the Higher Self Foundational class, you're doing fantastic. Thank you for all of you signing up, and you sharing your magical experiences, really powerful. And I'll be connecting with you again tonight. So excited for that. And it's so lovely to see people participating from the US, the UK, South Africa, and Australia. So that's really magical. And yeah, speaking of Australia, I've also seen an increase in the number of clients from Australia. So thank you. It's really cool because you catch me just at the beginning of my day, time zone wise. So I love that overlap. And I did one today with a client in Australia, and it blows my mind technology wise that we can have a fluid conversation, and yet we're the other side of the world from each other. And when we do these quantum psychic healing sessions, they are they're super quantum and impactful. So I really enjoy that. What else has gone well in business? The getting busier at Naked Revive, yeah, and doing the live streams and doing some in-person events. Sometimes I feel a little bit conscious or cautious that I'm advertising a lot about my in-person side of my business, and yet I feel that it's really important to build that aspect of the business, the online work I've been doing for several years now. And I'd argue it's easier. You've got a whole world of a marketplace when you're doing it online, but to do it in person, I'm into into the number of people that live in my catchment area. You're into the, I don't know, maybe let's say within 30 to 40 minutes drive, it's certainly less than 500,000 people. It'll be 300,000 or something. And of those who are interested in my services, who are open to especially the psychic work, will be today is a smaller amount, but it is lovely building that business, and so I'm really happy to see more bookings. And I think tomorrow I have 2 bookings, and I'm also doing a live stream with Natasha Rocha on her channel tomorrow, so look out for that. And then thank you all for coming along to my live streams. That's been just really, really beautiful. Continued growth in the live streams themselves and your engagement. And I think I also broke a record of getting through the most people last week. It's something like 20 people in 2 hours, which was lovely. I mean, it's not about the number of people you can squeeze or cram into a live stream, but just being able to reach more people and for me to be consciously aware of my pace, I really enjoy. And thank you to my guests as well. It was lovely to have Manda Lotus Leo on. She was fantastic. And I'd also love to get Natasha on again. And we've had Viviani now every Monday, so she'll be on today as well. So really excited for that. And there'll be more people. I think in October we also had Terry as well, holding your space. But yeah, lots of different beautiful souls. And looking forward to more guests in the future. And also the podcasts have been going well. The Mindful Leadership podcast, if I can say my own podcast correctly, with Natasha, they've been going well. We're featured on a couple of other people's podcasts, and one of them is Mario's, so you can keep an eye out for that. And what else? Oh, I don't know. There's probably even more things to share, but it's been a great month in terms of reaching more people and taking these different business adventures and going broader. Even the podcasts have helped bring in a couple more clients and doing sessions with people or being on their podcast and then doing a session for you. You know who you are. Thank you for that. And friends referring other people. It's all super helpful, so thank you so much. There was also an increase in a couple of you asking for recorded sessions. And so this is where I just record the session myself, so just me, myself and I record it and then I send it on to you after. So I did like a decoding your awakening session like this, a hidden witch wound session, and also a quantum energy healing session. What I would say is that I tend to get in a lot more depth without you there. It sounds bad, but it's, they're just different, right? They're just different modalities, and there's nothing's better or worse than others. It depends on your experience. Like if I'm doing a recording, it's very difficult for you to ask questions. You can email me afterwards, but you're kind of reflecting back on a moment. Equally, when you replay the video, you can hear, you can experience it yourself as if you're there, because really you are there. You were there when I recorded it. Your consciousness was, and so it's almost like you're just going through the replay. So yeah, I'm definitely interested in that, and it reminds me I will update my website to allow you to request that. I think it'd be lovely for you to be able to request a recorded only version, and it gives me more flexible in the time of day that I created as well. Okay, let's talk about, I think I'm going to not talk about the lows on the business, or should I say the lessons learned is probably a better way of thinking about it, because lows by themselves aren't super helpful. I'd like to share the lessons as, because all these lessons happen for you, right? But in between, I'm just going to talk a bit about my life, my dream life. I would say I had, a range of experiences in October. One of the biggest was that I worked almost 12 days non-stop, and I did take like a Friday afternoon off, but the way things had lined up with the Naked Revive Open Day on a Saturday, my event had been booked about 6 weeks prior to then, which was on the Sunday, and I also had a client session on the Sunday. And then I also had like a Monday, which is like a 12-hour day. My Mondays tend to be quite long because I often have a session early in the morning, and then I do my higher self foundational training at night. And so learning that definitely took its toll. Now, it was after a holiday, so I had another week vacation, which was fabulous. We were down in the northeast of England. For a week, we as a family, we loved it, and I got lots of rest. And even though I did bits and pieces of work, they were more just playing around with ideas and developing. I created the monthly meditation plan from that, and really reflected on the things that would help me scale my business beyond, and helping reach more people, than me just doing loads more one-to-one sessions, which I do love, but there's only one of me in the one-to-one. And so one-to-many services like my guided meditations, my guided healing meditations, recorded sessions even, feel like a really worthwhile investment in helping me reach more people. Now, I had the week holiday, and then I'd worked for this 12 days or so, and yeah, I was just really tired. And when it came to this weekend, which is when it ended, I had Friday, Saturday, and then almost Sunday off. I had a client session last night, but that really helped me. I slept a lot, and you can probably see even now, like, quite, the bags under my eyes definitely got bigger. It's like my body's like, "Hey, John, like, you're tired, so we'll show the world on video that we're tired." And what I did enjoy was that I had a lot of conversations with my body. I spent a lot of time taking extra naps, and I felt for the majority of the time that I was managing to stay outside of fight or flight. And it's easy to fall into it, right? Where you drink a lot of coffee, you push yourself really hard, and you keep going. But I was, a few times I kind of during the day I would kind of bounce into that a bit, and I was quite conscious of it. I'd feel almost excited and a little bit manic about it, and then I would come out of it often by having a nap. And what I really love about having a nap is that that moment you wake up, your body's not lying, right? It's not lying to you. You might be lying down, but it's not lying to you. Your body's saying, "Hey, John, this happened. We slept. How do we feel now?" And that's so powerful, like keeping connected to your body, placing your hand on your heart and saying, "Hey, John, how do we feel today? How do you feel? How much water should I drink today? How many gulps should I drink? Is it okay to have another coffee, or are we done for the day?" All these questions and partnership I did feel building. And yeah, we got to go camping, which was just fantastic. We hadn't been in quite a few weeks. But we'd been away on holiday for 1 week in a holiday house. So that was good fun. And yeah, I feel in my family life, in my dream life, more flexibility and more adventures. And I'll come on to what's next, about what I want to do more of, what I will or am doing more of through November. So let's talk about the lows and into lessons learned. So it was a bit of an eye-opener for a range of lessons. So I haven't forgotten about the sales, right? I was like, what was the number I said? Sales down 32% compared to the previous month. That wasn't lost on me. That feeling was quite dominant in me for about 3 weeks. Now, looking at, and I'm considering removing it from this little dashboard that pops up on my website every day, and it's a place that takes my orders. It takes most of my orders. It doesn't take orders from Naked Revive, from bookings directly from there. So likely the actual number is higher, the volume of sales is higher and the percentage is lower. But that will shift lightly. I'll just in future be taking bookings directly instead of through Naked Revive. So I'm not going to start trying to add up from different sources. It made me feel like the biggest reason I could see that happened was because I wasn't selling training courses in this month. So I'd already sold to the training course for the Higher Self Foundational Training for people to join. And then there's a gap until there's a couple of months until the next training course, the Higher Self Intermediate Training course. If you're interested, sign up. It's on the 13th of January, or give or take a day. I think that's right. So that's an 8-week course. So those, I'm not so worried about like month on month comparisons of the sales, but when you've got a dashboard telling you this, it's good to be conscious of numbers. And yes, ideally, I would have been increasing in sales month on month. But what I didn't want to do was overreact and change things. What it tended to do for me is give me more time to create things like the app. So I've done all the build work for it, and it now kind of sits there waiting, going through the approval process. I also got to create the Hidden Witch Wounds meditation, the 60-minute silent meditation, and I got to create the monthly meditation membership. So those things feel like future investments. So if I'd been selling more sessions, for example, I wouldn't have had the time to be able to create some of these things. So that feels good. And I feel like the lesson is that month on month, these numbers go up and down, and that's okay. And I don't feel like by any means that my business is slipping away. And if you think, about the opposite is more true, that actually what's happening is more of you are signing up and engaging for things like my meditations. Oh, and by the way, if you've made it 26 minutes in, you can now sign up for the free meditations. Once you complete like the 14-day meditation challenge, it'll send you an email and say you've now left. And so you can rejoin it and you can keep going again and again. Whereas before it was kind of like a one shot only, and it was really hard to restart it. So that's great news. And I feel like that's a big win for, it was thanks to a new feature in the Wix website, which interestingly, just a few days before I had +1 as an idea. And I've definitely been giving more feedback to Wix and other app providers, including the very one I'm using to record this video. So definitely, give these companies, no matter how big or faceless you believe they are, often they're smaller than you think they are, and they will listen to your feedback. So please do, including myself, give companies your feedback. It's the new world. Other lessons, I had my first customer fraud. So one customer in particular, but there were a couple. Now I can't go into details, right? But fraud-like behavior where they were performing specific activities with my website that gave them additional points, if you like, to be able to then go and purchase services with me. And I only spotted when a client had purchased multiple things but hadn't paid any money. And I was like, oh, I wonder why that is, because you can earn loyalty points. There's a whole page you go to, it says waving his magic finger. You go to the membership page in my website and or my account page, and in there it talks about loyalty points. And it tells you about the different ways you can earn them, and then you get discounts from different services. So that's really cool. But I won't go into the details. And I'd love to think that the person that did it, wasn't that it wasn't really a fraudulent behavior. But who knows? I just had to let them know this is what had happened, and that I've changed my website so that this is now no longer possible. But it did really help me tighten, think about some of those energy leaks, especially around the loyalty points, and get like clear on, the conditions under which people can gain these rewards. And it's really important to me that many people get access to free services, because I feel like it's something I always wanted when I first started. I wanted to be able to engage with someone and with high quality content, just like as if I was paying for it, but I want to get to know them, and I want to be able to give support to people when they have no money. You just need enough money for a phone and or a laptop or tablet of some kind, and you'll be able to take part in the spirit guide meditations and get to know me. And to be honest, that's all I did for many years, and the spirit guide meditations themselves are way more advanced I think it took me about 3 years to get that advanced in the work. So yeah, I think they're a real gift. So I also had, some of you may have seen it, but I also had not just one people, but some people, getting frustrated in live streams about the challenges around Viviani and I trying to get through as many people as possible, and the random selection, and I just made it really clear what the boundaries are, that we don't accept being chased for something that is provided free of charge. And so I've just given some really clear guidelines in the video descriptions, and published that also on my community page. So yeah, you can take a look at these things and just get a feel for, like, does this resonate with you? Not everyone will resonate with my boundaries. They're mine, so I make up my boundaries. I encourage you to make up your boundaries. Your boundaries might be that you don't like it when, someone like me doing this kind of service says, oh, I don't like being chased for a free service. Now, it's just when we're doing things out of the goodness of our heart, especially, and we're trying our very best, it's difficult to be it's even harder to be on the receiving end of someone kind of pushing you to do more, and it becomes uncomfortable for myself, those supporting me, and the rest of the audience. So I hope you understand. And of course, we're always looking for new ways to improve the technology and the way we use it to help facilitate these sessions. It wasn't just in live streams. I've also experienced this in person as well, like at the open day that we had at Naked Revive. So I get that it's in human nature, and maybe I've done it in the past as well. I don't know for others. If I've chased them for something that is free of charge, I'm sorry. It's not just about whether it's paid for or not. But yeah, that was one big lesson, and it helped me, that lesson helped me get clear on the boundaries. And so now you'll see my live stream descriptions. If you look at the videos, those boundaries will be made clear each time they run. What other lessons? My mind's gone blank. I think there was also these, there's some occasions where there was things that I was being asked to do by people that would kind of step more into being like a friend, and less from a business perspective. And so there was a few opportunities where I was able to draw those boundaries and say, look, it's really lovely that you asked me to do this. I would be, I think you can kind of only really be one or the other. Now, I love my clients. I love you as a client for watching this. And I love my friends. I think the difference is that with friends, I don't really feel like I can do, I can't really blur that line between being a client and being a friend. You're kind of one or the other. And by this, I mean, there'll be certain things I would do, whether it's related to travel or visiting you, or if there's things, unless it was for a business reason, then it would be more as a friend, and I'd feel like I'd have to put aside the business side of it. And so that's really an interesting boundary to navigate and evolve, and I really look forward to meeting more people and helping more people, and excited to continue to do so. What else did I learn? Oh, I don't know. It just feels like there was so many things. The work-life balance, I think, was a big lesson, and the kind of the boundaries with customers, whether they were intentionally or unintentionally crossing boundaries, and probably boundaries that they weren't aware of. And now that I've created those, it feels much better. So what's next? So November, what can I say? Well, one of the things I came up with when I was on vacation, on holiday, was Wild Wednesdays, Wild Camping Wednesdays. So this Wednesday, I'm going to. Now, there might be a change in plan last minute because we're likely about to, just under a week's time, we need to empty our whole garage, and get rid of all that rubble, all those shadows lurking in there, all that clutter. And we're going to extend our kitchen into the garage, which is fantastic. So we just have a tiny, tiny little garage left. So that might change plans, but otherwise, currently my calendar is Wild Camping Wednesday, and I'm going to head not much further than an hour's drive away. Patch and I are going to head down to Northumberland, where there's Neolithic art. And so the idea is to go there, experience the place, probably do a bit of a meditation there. Might even take my my infrared camera, which is good fun, and then stay the night in the area, and then head back. And that would just be a lot of fun. I'm feeling a bit cabin fevered, even though I'm 1 day a week in Naked Revive. My days at home are, the more sessions I do, I tend to be at home either in the studio or in my office, going between the two areas over the course of the day. And I feel like that energy feels a bit stagnant, a bit stuck sometimes. So even though I go for morning runs and nature walks, and we do quite a lot, especially in the evenings and weekends, I'm keen to just take more advantage of that flexibility I have. Plus, I installed a new internet aerial on top of the camper van so that it can take 4G and 5G much better as signal. Otherwise, it's like a Faraday cage as a big metal van, and you can't get a good mobile signal inside. So that's really cool. And what else is coming up? I'm also, well, as we spend a week extending our kitchen into our garage. That's not me doing the work, thankfully. It would take a lot longer than a week, but that'll cause a little bit of disruption to my work as well. So I may be doing sessions from my van, or offering people, to reschedule to the following week. To be honest, it doesn't really matter whether I'm doing it in my van or not. My van's a very cozy place, and it's fantastically quiet no matter where we park it. So I even do client sessions in it, which is a lot of fun. Sometimes it's even nicer because you get to do a session from a different location, and there's a whole plethora of magical locations around here. I would love my app to launch in November. That would just be fabulous, and so I can then go back to just doing little bits of updates to it. It's very easy for me to update it, and I'm so excited to share it with you and get your feedback and get more, advertise and get more people signed up for the meditations, whether they're free or the paid ones, and just get it out to reach more people. And I'm also on the 17th of November doing another session, quantum healing, clearing, psychic readings, healings, clearings, for people in our area. So that'll be at Naked Revive with Natasha. And what else has got on? I need to check what else I have on in the calendar. They're the main things that stick out to me. I'll also begin advertising for my intermediate training, so that's going to be a lot of fun, because I've actually got a couple of class reunions with the foundational training class and the first intermediate training class. So we're meeting up and checking in on just reflections on how people are doing since the course, and a spoiler into the next course. So the advanced training course the agenda's already been created as an outline, and that will be launching next year. So just so excited for that, to go from and a kind of soul, how to describe it, someone who's developing themselves in foundational into intermediate, becoming a practitioner, and then advanced is mastering these different abilities. And a lot of it's like at the very edge and beyond what I'm currently capable of. So I'm really excited to grow into the teacher capable of teaching that course. It's all stuff I know how to do. I'm just also going through some of the integration of this same material. And yeah, I also created a biography for myself. That was a lot of fun. You can feel free to have a good read of that if you're just curious about my journey, if you're interested in any of the aspects of my journey and or my mission, please do reach out. And we're also always interested in people to come on any of my shows. So that includes the Monday and Thursday live streams on YouTube. There's we do weekly recordings with Natasha Rocha on mindfulness, mindful leadership, and I also do like ad hoc shows like the shadow work I do with Nova, and I also have like guests on for different shows with different themes. So yeah, if you're interested in any of those, please let me know. And yeah, I am excited for November. It feels like this world is shifting, and I have seen an increase. You know, some of the trends I've seen, you know, I expect to continue to see into November include more people have been asking me to help with their. I describe it as like a mix of what I've just been going on about for the last 40 minutes. Is like, you know, your physical health, your energetic health, your dream life, and your business, like all these things like wrapped up together. And so helping people with all those aspects in quantum psychic healing sessions really help unblock people and help them progress themselves and their lives. And I love that. Like, it's all these things are intertwined, right? Like our total capability, you hear me say this a lot, our total capacity for work is dictated by our health. And so perhaps one way of thinking about it is that our health is our productivity. Our health is our currency, is our energy. And so if you want to value yourself and you want to be successful, then look after your health first and the rest will come. So I'm glad I'm only 47 and finally learned that. Glad it's not later. So yeah, that's my reflections. Thank you to those of you who have shown interest in this video. You know who you are. And a shout out to you all. Thank you so much for all your continued love and support. It's just incredible. I feel truly blessed to be doing this work. I had one thing I almost forgot is thank you for your beautiful testimonials. A couple of you had spontaneously put some testimonials onto public YouTube comments, so thank you for those. I'll be sharing those more widely. Some of you have been telling others and referring others, and just today, one of the owners at Naked Revive was messaging me saying that one of my clients had been in and I'd been talking to them saying how I'd helped change their life, and you know, it just really touches my heart. I stopped what I was doing when I read that message on my phone, and I just took the time to reflect and to receive, and that's a huge part of this journey for me. Is you know, even if I could just change one person's life, you know, look at what one person can do. Look at our history. Look at all the famous people, inspiring people who have brought great change in this world, and it just takes one person. So, you know, never underestimate your impact when you help one person, because it can be the person that helps change this world. So thank you for that, and thank you for your continued bookings. Yes, I do have plenty of capacity, even with my kitchen work coming on, and yeah, looking forward to all the fun in November and some wild camping Wednesdays as well with Patch. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if there's anything you'd like to request from me in my services, my business ideas, in my app, or anything that you've got suggestions for, feel free to share. And I look forward to sharing with you in early December. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Take care, everyone. Sending love. Bye.